haven't made this video yet, but I think it's about time that I did. Why travel? Why did I fall so in love with travel to the point where I had to start a travel YouTube channel? And why should you also be interested in traveling? Right now I'm in the beautiful city of Kanazawa, Japan. We're wrapping up our 16-day excursion over here. And I got to thinking, like, what is the purpose of all of this?
I'm looking way too Hispanic. Still not Japanese enough.
I've got 4 thoughts on the matter, but before we get into that, I want to preface this by saying I understand that travel is this idealized thing that everybody wants to do, but some people genuinely can't afford doing it. Hello. Konnichiwa. Of course, I realize how lucky and blessed I am to be able to afford to come on a 16-day excursion over to Japan in the first place. So don't get me wrong. Not everybody can do what I'm doing, but I will make the argument that everybody can travel. All right, now we're talking. Because most people, most of you guys watching, you guys live either in a big city or near a big city, and there's tons of touristy things to do around there. And you're just stuck inside your bubble. Travel isn't necessarily about traveling to some far off land and seeing some great big mountain like Mount Fuji. Sometimes travel is just about you're inside your bubble. It's about breaking out of that, going and experiencing new places. You don't have to cross the Pacific Ocean to feel like you're traveling. Sometimes all you have to do is cross the street and visit that new Indian restaurant that opened. And heck, maybe you've never even had Indian food, but maybe just try it, and that counts. That is still in the spirit of traveling.
I wasn't the only one who felt particularly Japanese on this beautiful Kanazawa day.
My first thought on the matter of traveling is that travel is therapeutic. Lord knows that, at least back where I'm from in America, we have tons of issues with physical health and mental health. And I would argue that there's a third component of that, which is your spiritual health, and that all of those things suffer when all you do is you get stuck in that tunnel vision of your day-to-day life. That day-to-day grind really grinds down on your mental health. It creates depression and anxiety. It grinds down on your physical health. It makes you gain weight. It makes you become more sedentary. It makes you lazier, and it grinds down on your spiritual health. You start to wonder, what is the purpose of all this crap that I'm doing, and why am I even here? Now, travel is not a panacea, okay? It won't cure everything, but it is a form of medicine in that regard. It can help alleviate the stresses of life by plunging you into a new experience where you can be in a new environment, and by being in a new environment, you are giving yourself permission to become a different person. One of the most powerful ways to get over bad habits and addictions and things of that nature is to put yourself in a brand new environment and be that new person. Because when you're stuck inside of your bubble, that same environment gives you the same cues, the same triggers to perform the same actions. And you know, then what's the definition of insanity?
What does one do when they're in a geisha costume if not eat gold leaf ice cream? Which is what we're in line for right now.
But when you step out of that bubble, you make yourself a little bit uncomfortable and you go out and you see the world, it's gonna help you break those bad habits, because now you don't have the same cues and you don't have the same triggers. And hey, that's half of the goal of therapy, is to help you break those bad habits, those bad cycles, those bad patterns of thinking. Traveling helps with that. But more than just helping with that version of therapy, it even helps you process some of the past. Because oftentimes all we really need to do is sit down and be silent for like 10 seconds and let your brain go to where it's gonna go. And yes, that's painful, and yes, we all avoid it. I've gone through some traumatic experiences, and I avoid them like the plague by keeping myself busy throughout the days. But when I'm traveling, sometimes there's genuinely nothing to do. And when you have nothing to do, you have to sit down with your thoughts. For some people, that sounds like a scary proposition. But as you learn to work through that, as you learn to live within yourself and with your thoughts, you gain a better handle on how to deal with that negativity and somehow try to generate positivity from there.
Does it taste like gold ice cream?
second thought when it comes to traveling is all about how life is given purpose and meaning when you experience new things. It's such an amazing thing to not have any idea that something exists and then be confronted with its existence. Over here, seeing things like the Kanazawa Castle and not having had any previous conception of what that was or what it meant, and then looking into it and learning something new about the world and learning about the people who inhabit this same planet that we do. It opens up your own perspective. It opens your horizons.
According to Japanese tradition, there are 3 perfect gardens in Japan, and this is one of them. Kenroku-en in Kanazawa.
Or interacting with a culture that you've only ever created caricatures and stereotypes in your brain for. We think of a certain thing when it comes to Japan, but then when you actually get here and you rent a costume, a kimono, and you walk the streets of old Japan inside of that outfit, you're immersed in the culture and you gain sympathy for the people of that time period. You gain sympathy for the people in Japan right now, and you just gain sympathy for your fellow man in general. And I would go as far as to argue that if you are the type of person who feels like life might be meaningless, that these are the kinds of things that start to infuse meaning into the life. You don't necessarily need a ton of money to do that, to interact with people and to have new experiences. Admittedly, you do need some money, but I would argue that it is a lot less than what people generally think of, and that it is a smart investment of your funds because of the opening of your perspective.
According to Japanese tradition, there is one perfect geisha, and I have found her. Her name is Mishi.
The third thought has to deal with that money aspect of things. Like, if you ever want to know what it's really like to live like a millionaire or a billionaire, I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire myself, so I can't say for certain, but I'm fairly certain that the closest that we can get as non-millionaires to living like millionaires is by traveling. Treat yourself to a little trip. Treat yourself to a nice meal every once and again. Have a new experience. Those are the types of things that millionaires are affording themselves the luxury to do. And you might think, I don't have the luxury to do that because I don't have the funds to do it. I would argue that you don't have the luxury to not do it. By not doing it, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're staying inside that bubble that I keep talking about, and you're not allowing yourself to fly free. If you want to know what it feels like to feel like you've got a lot of money, go out there and experience something new. Again, you don't need all the funds in the world to accomplish that. Your own backyard, figuratively speaking, probably has a bunch of stuff that you've yet to pay any attention to. Go pay attention to them for a little while. See where it lands you. You're loving yourself in the process of doing these things. You're saying, hey, I'm not only gonna spend money on, Netflix and all your subscriptions and your stupid bills, these experiences and the memories that you gain from them. Those are the things that are gonna make you feel rich and that are gonna stay with you for the rest of your life. When you're on your deathbed, you're not gonna remember all this other crap that you bought. You're gonna remember these experiences. I'm not gonna remember, the shirt that I bought at Zara like last week. I'm going to remember the fact that I was in Kanazawa walking the streets in a geisha outfit. And my last thought has to deal with the other side of it. Unfortunately, we're not here forever. My goal in life is an unattainable goal. It is, I want to see every single thing that God created. I want to meet every single person that God has ever created, because I believe every single person on this planet has some value, has something for me to learn from. And I believe that every single place, every single thing on earth is interesting. And I know that's unattainable because I just won't be here forever. You need forever to do that. And all I've got is this time here to do everything that I can to hit that goal. And I think it's a worthy goal to go down, which brings me back full circle to this is the entire reason that I make these videos, because it's my goal in life to see every single thing on earth. But more than that, I want to make sure that when I'm doing it, I'm documenting it, and that I can create something through these YouTube videos that inspires you all to get off your butts and go see what I'm seeing out here. These videos are meant to be a motivation for you to understand that looking at Kanazawa through the screen is nice for you to have an idea of what the place is like, but that by watching this video, you still have not experienced Kanazawa. The only way to experience it is by coming here and experiencing it. And this video is supposed to be a billboard to try to get you to do that. And sure, the videos aren't perfect yet. I know that. And yeah, by the time this video comes out, I probably still don't have that many subscribers. I know that. I don't care. I love the craft of creating these videos, and I love more the craft of traveling the world and experiencing and learning new things. It's about more than just the YouTube aspect of it for me. If YouTube didn't exist, I'd still want to travel regardless. But YouTube does exist, so I want to make sure that I'm publicizing this so that more of you guys can get out there and travel. So I guess the point of this video is go out there and travel.